Good morning, everyone. My name is Lawrence Cristobal. Welcome to my personal introduction for our class 2 clinical science. So to begin, starting out with talking about my likes. Really a big thing is I really like fitness. This is what led me into the physical therapy career field. More to that later. Other than fitness, outside of that, I really love watching football. I'm a big 49er fan. It hurts being a 49er fan for the past few years of my life, honestly the past decade. Outside of that, I like to play a lot of video games before. I still play it here and there with friends to sit down and relax, but it's not as much as I used to play when I was a lot younger. You could easily find me playing 8 to 10 hours a day of video games. Probably the longest I've played video games in one straight sitting is like 22 hours for Grand Theft Auto 5. Maybe in the future, once I'm working in a clinic, I'll take some paid time off to go ahead and do that again for Grand Theft Auto 6. Thanks to that love for video games, I do have a hobby in firearms. So me collecting Nerf guns growing up just turned into collecting firearms. I bought a 1911 as a celebratory gift for myself from Bass Pro over here in Manteca. After returning home from the Middle East on a deployment. Then for my 22nd birthday, I actually bought parts from Palmetto State Armory to go ahead and build myself an AR-15 because I wanted to take on that challenge. So firearm stuff, you could see it on my water bottle flask in school. I have stickers about firearms and all that. And lastly, anything that's like self-development, self-love related things like learning to cook, exploring new places, clothes or shoe shopping, or just relaxing at home. You know, I love all that stuff. I like time to deload from school, work, whatever it is. I love relaxing. As for getting into physical therapy, like I said, I really loved fitness, and I chose it because of me being into fitness and at the same time it being something about wellness and job security. Right off the rip in high school in 2019, I went into business administration over at San Joaquin Delta College, and I wanted to get work experience, so I joined the Air Force Reserve. And that was on New Year's Eve that I enlisted, and then I got medical administrative experience with a position they offered me for the Air Force Reserves. Went to boot camp in June 2020, came back home in October 2020, got finally hands-on with the job, and I realized quickly I did not like that administrative work. It wasn't cut out for me. Like being at a desk, just sitting all day wasn't for me. I was moving around, I was very active. I was trying to find an excuse that I could be moving around rather than sitting sedentary at a desk. So because of that, I quickly realized, hey, this isn't for me to do business administration. So I switched my studies into kinesiology over at Delta College and graduated with my associates 2 years ago in fall 2022. A few weeks after graduating with my associates, I actually went to Qatar for my deployment to the Middle East. That was January 2023. And that's where I was actually introduced to the physical therapy assistant career field, because my supervisor over there, his sister-in-law happened to be a physical therapy assistant, and I didn't know anything about a physical therapist assistant at this point. Sorry about that. I honestly thought it was the technicians or the aides and the doctor. No in between, nobody providing extra care. Up to that point, no information of physical therapist assistant to me. He told me that information. I looked into the career field, and within the same week of him letting me know, I went ahead and applied to Sacramento City College because I saw them on the CAPTE website as an accredited school. So as soon as I got back in June 2023, back to California from the deployment, I started my online classes in the summer. And then in fall 2023, I was beginning the intro to PTA course work online. However, around that same time frame in fall 2023, that's when something popped up where I just wanted to look at the CAPT website again and found IoT. So then I reached out to IoT, saw that they were still in the prohibition. They're in some sort of phase where it's like, hey, they are and aren't. They aren't fully accredited, right? But I still wanted to apply and get that out of the way. So I applied, T reached out to me, and I did my little prerequisites to go ahead, get in, got accepted, and now we're here for physical therapist assistant. I'm still getting used to that, sorry. For work experience, I unfortunately don't have any physical therapist experience other than being a patient, my shadow hours, and some volunteer hours. Officially working, no, but I did get hands-on hours over at David Grant Medical Center over at Travis Air Force Base where I'm stationed. I did some volunteer hours, and the physical therapist assistants and the physical therapist on site were kind enough to let me have hands-on with the patients. They showed me ultrasound therapy, so we're just moving around. I'm gonna learn it soon. This muscle around here is something that one of the flexors for the thumb. We'll learn it soon. Flexor soleus, maybe, I don't know. I'll learn it. But yeah, they let me do ultrasound on that, and some like distraction work where I was like moving around a pinky to go ahead and loosen up some scar tissue going on over there for one of the patients. It was great. I was engaged that whole day. The volunteer hours honestly didn't even feel like I was there for volunteer. Like, I was enjoying it. I was like, yeah, I could do this for a living. I really, really loved it. And just seeing the patients feel much better or feel like something is actually helping them in their lives, like, that felt great. And that felt great in me. I was like, yeah, let's dial in and become a physical therapist assistant. Let's see. So what I hope to learn about this class is anything and everything about the physical therapist assistant field. Like, look, I don't have any work experience in physical therapy, so I want to learn from not only just being a physical therapist assistant, but hey, how do the technicians and aides work? How can I talk and collaborate with them? How am I going to be collaborating with a physical therapist for my supervisor? You know, it's a team effort. I want to be learning everything. And on top of that, how am I going to be efficient in patient care? That's a big thing. We're patient oriented and patient centered. Let's see. And then obviously we're going with other classes. We got kinesiology, we got functional anatomy. We're going through so many classes. I like it that we're going to be learning and blending it into this class, and throughout every class, everything's being blended rather than it being all jumbled like general education, you know? Like, nice. At least the information I'm learning is going to go together. That's going to be great. I'm wanting to learn how we mesh that information together. Let's see. As for what I'm hoping out of our instructors, really a welcoming and enjoying environment to learn in. I love when there is supportive staff and they make it feel great to come to work or school, just anywhere, right? So I'm hoping for it to just be welcoming, enjoying, and we get motivated to learn all this stuff in the physical therapist assistant field. I know I'm going to go through all the mistakes. Look, that's why we're students. That's what you guys are emphasizing. We're students. We're going to learn. And I really want to be able to learn how I can fix those mistakes, fix bad habits, and hope the lectures and constructive feedback helps me learn or fix what I'm doing wrong, so I can go ahead and be great at future clinical sites and future work sites, so I can go ahead and take my PTA time off so I can go and enjoy GTA 6, you know? Strengths and weaknesses. Honestly, so strengths, I don't know my strengths too much other than, hey, I know I can be a quick learner, especially if I can go like hands-on kinesthetically. Like, as soon as we touched the lab just the past week, I'm already like learning so much more about the head, and hey, here's like how you find the sternocleidomastoid, here's the hyoid tip of that, and then if you feel that tip of the hyoid bone, that's the hyoid bone and all that stuff. Like, you know, just I'm learning hands-on, and that's what helps me really. So being in lab to learn is gonna be great for me. That's one of my strengths. Let's see, what else? And I can be a people person when I need to be. Not when I want to be. I'm not a complete extrovert where I'm gonna go out of my way and talk with somebody and get to know them, but I'm not a complete introvert either where I'm shy and just in the corner and talking to nobody. Like, if I need to talk with someone, I'm gonna talk with someone. The world is filled with people. Let's be kind to each other, all that, show each other love and support. It's simple. You be kind to one person, 99% of the time they're gonna be kind back. So I always reciprocate or give off kindness off the rip with anyone I meet, right? Weaknesses. This is the part that just hits me all the time, no matter what, with school, work, whatever I'm doing. Anxiousness. Like, look, I have anxiety of just not knowing what I'm doing, right? And obviously, in this physical therapist assistant field, I don't know anything yet. I'm a student, I'm learning. So I get very anxious easily with just thinking about the coursework. Like, oh, I need to learn this, I need to know that, I need to think about the national board exam. Like, my mind is too hyperactive worrying about things that I'm learning down the line. Like, what? A few months ago, we were at 18 months away from graduation, and I'm already freaking out about the national exam. I'm like, look, I need to be patient with myself. Still, we're about, 14 months away from graduation, and I need to just learn to calm down and not be all anxious about the test. But I will say maybe the anxiety is a little bit of a strength because it pushes me into forcing myself to study or getting homework done. Because even if I'm trying to relax, like I said, I love to relax, but sometimes relaxing is hard because I can't relax thinking about, hey, there's this homework assignment I need to do, here's this studying that they said we need to get done before class. I need to get that out of the way before I can completely relax and deload, like, cool, my anxiety will go ahead and let me study or force me to study so then I can finally feel to relax. And then lastly, finally, I got my learning styles. This is kind of getting long, sorry about that, just rambling on and on. But with my learning styles, I took that learning style questionnaire and they said I am great with body movement, knowing about myself, and surprisingly loving nature. Body movement makes sense. Like I said, I'm kinesthetic. I like to move around a lot and all that. I'm gesticulating a lot with my hands when I talk. It just helps me perceive and give out words, right? So it's how I learn and keep myself awake too. Bliss says to incorporate body movement into learning, which is great because, hey, once we're getting hands-on with the labs, how am I gonna move my body and see someone else's body and relate to what muscles, joints, or bones we're learning in that area? All the structures. Perfect job for me, right? Learning style the learning style says that I have a good sense about myself, which I do agree because most of the work I'll want to do is for myself, and even in group chat, in group projects, I'll get a task way off from the group and then come back and I'm like, hey, here's my task, I'm all done, right? Kind of just not introverted again, but just kind of keep to myself, and I'll come back and work with people if I need to. But I know about myself. It says to go ahead and do some journal work, computer work, watch how-to videos, which I already do. I love to meditate. If I'm having problems or just frustrations, I'm going to journal to know my feelings inside of me. Computer work, I have a computer set up in my room. Watch how-to videos already, like car mechanics, firearms assembly and disassembly, house carpentry, cooking. Like, I'm all over the place in what I love to learn. I just love learning what can benefit me in skills, right? And then lastly, it said with my learning style questionnaire again, it said I love nature. It's saying here that I would know rocks, flowers, trees. Look, I don't know about the names of all that, right? I just look at it and I'm like, look, that plant, it's beautiful. This grass, it's beautiful. All that stuff. Like, I find beauty in nature and I relax in nature. I'll go ahead, take a hike, or just go ahead, sit in the backyard to relax while I'm stressed. Or not stressed out, but just to deload real quick, take a break from homework. And, I'm in nature to relax, enjoying, meditating, listening to the winds and the howls. Like, everything about nature is beautiful, and it's God's work just right there in nature. So it's peaceful, helps me relax, and yeah. So sorry for all the rambling. I really appreciate for anyone and everyone who is watching my introduction video for this new student PTA account. Thank you, everybody.